how they enslave us, how they dominate.
You'll get yourself in trouble.
This is none of your business.
Rabban Harkonnen himself killed my family. He gave me this.
Dune 3 is officially moving forward, with filming set to kick off this summer ahead of its big screen debut in December 2026. This will wrap up Denis Villeneuve's trilogy, bringing Paul Atreides' story to a close. Back in October 2024, Villeneuve shared that he was deep in the writing process for Dune Messiah, or possibly Dune Part 3, which will serve as the final chapter in Paul's journey. While we count down to Dune 3, here's everything you need to know about what's coming next. After the massive success of Dune Part 2, which is now streaming on Max in the US and Sky Cinema in the UK, production company Legendary quickly confirmed Villeneuve's return for a third installment. He's been teasing this adaptation of Dune Messiah since the first film, so it's no surprise he's back to complete his vision. However, don't expect him to stick around for a fourth movie. In December 2024, he told The Wrap that this will be his last Dune film, admitting that continuing beyond this trilogy would be unhealthy for him. At least we don't have to wait too long for the next chapter. As we know that Dune 3 officially has a release date, mark your calendars for December 18, 2026. Warner Brothers had a mysterious event film set for that date, and by late June 2024, they revealed it was actually an untitled Denis Villeneuve project. Then by the end of July, an IMAX presentation confirmed what fans had been hoping for: it's another Dune movie. The plan is to start filming this summer, but that depends on the availability of its super in-demand cast. According to Deadline, if they're aiming for that December 2026 release, production has to kick off by late summer at the latest. No official word yet on the exact start date, but Villeneuve has hinted that he'll be back behind the camera sooner than he originally thought. He actually believed he'd take a long break after Dune Part 2. In October 2024, he told Deadline that his plan was to disappear into the woods for a while and recover from the massive undertaking of the sequel. But turns out the woods weren't for him. Instead, he realized he was eager to get back to work much sooner than expected. He admitted he was surprised by how much he still wanted to return to Arrakis. Initially, he figured he'd take a break, write a couple of other films, and then come back for Dune Messiah. But he kept getting these powerful images in his mind. His creative appetite for this story was still there, completely intact. While we've got almost 2 years to wait for Dune 3, there's something to hold fans over in the meantime. If you're craving more of the universe, Dune Prophecy is streaming now on Sky Atlantic and Now. This prequel series, which already got renewed for a second season, takes place 10,000 years before the movies and dives into the origins of the Bene Gesserit, focusing on sisters Valia and Tula Harkonnen. Now let's talk about the cast. We get why people might be worried about Zendaya's return as Chani after the way Dune 2 ended, but honestly, we'd be shocked if she didn't come back. Chani plays a significant role in Dune Messiah, so odds are high that she'll be back. While there's been no official announcement yet, we can make some pretty safe guesses based on the book. Expect Timothée Chalamet to return as Paul Atreides, Zendaya as Chani, Florence Pugh as Princess Irulan, Charlotte Rampling as Gaius Helen Mohayim, Javier Bardem as Stilgar, and Anya Taylor-Joy as Alia Atreides. Chalamet is basically locked in. He signed a massive deal with Warner Brothers in March 2024, which means while he can work with other studios, Warner Brothers gets first dibs on his projects. So getting him back for the third movie shouldn't be an issue. Florence Pugh didn't have a huge role in Dune 2, but Villeneuve has already confirmed that Princess Irulan will be a major player in the third film. He pointed out that he did the same thing with Zendaya's Chani, introducing her in Dune and then making her central to Part 2. Now it's Pugh's turn to take center stage in Dune 3. Villeneuve also seems pretty excited to work more with Taylor-Joy. He told Entertainment Weekly that he's eager to make Dune Messiah just to get more time with her and Pugh, calling them both incredibly inspiring. With the third movie officially happening, it's safe to say we'll be seeing much more of them. Javier Bardem has pretty much confirmed he'll be back too. In November 2024, he told Variety that if Villeneuve left him out, he'd be very angry since Stilgar is in the book. But he also made it clear that he totally trusts Villeneuve's vision and would do whatever the director asks. Now, some characters were only mentioned in Dune Messiah rather than actually appearing, like Lady Jessica, Gurney Halleck, and Emperor Shaddam IV. But knowing Villeneuve, he might tweak the story a bit to bring them back in some capacity. Ferguson, for one, has said she'd love to return, though she admits it's out of her hands. A couple of characters didn't make it into Dune 2, like Stephen McKinley Henderson's Thufir Hawat. Villeneuve focused more on the Bene Gesserit, so Thufir was left out, but maybe he'll find a way to work him into Dune 3. The same goes for Tim Blake Nelson, whose character was cut from Dune 2, though rumors suggested he was playing Count Fenring. If that's true, there's a chance he might show up in the third movie. Leia Seydoux had a small part in Dune 2 as Lady Margot Fenring, one of the Bene Gesserit. She's not in Dune Messiah, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's out of the picture for the third film. Villeneuve has taken some creative liberties before, so anything's possible. Now, let's address a big question. Will Jason Momoa be back as Duncan Idaho? If you've read the books, you already know his story isn't over. Even though he died in the first movie, Dune Messiah brings him back as a Gola, an artificially recreated human given to Paul as a gift, though there's a lot more to it than that. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but if Dune 3 follows the book, we could see Momoa back in action. As for the plot, Dune Messiah takes place 12 years after Dune, with Paul dealing with the consequences of his victory. His rise to power has led to chaos, with billions dead in a holy war fought in his name. He's trying to stop the bloodshed, but there are new enemies and betrayals from people he once trusted. Ultimately, he faces a massive decision that could change the fate of the entire universe. Frank Herbert wrote Dune Messiah partly as a response to people seeing Paul as a hero, which wasn't his intention. Villeneuve has already leaned into that idea, especially with Dune 2's ending, so he has some freedom in how he adapts the story. He's also hinted that the third movie won't just be more of the same, saying he wants to take a different approach, just like Herbert did with Dune Messiah. Zendaya also teased that Paul and Chani's story isn't heading toward a happy ending. She told Digital Spy that their relationship is way more complicated than just being a love story. It's something that gets in the way of their greater struggles. Without giving too much away, she hinted that their future isn't exactly sunshine and rainbows. So, while we're in for a bit of a wait before Dune 3 hits theaters, it sounds like it'll be worth it. Villeneuve has a clear vision for how he wants to wrap up this saga, and with the cast locked in and eager to return, it looks like we're in for another epic ride through Arrakis. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop. And if you want, you can share your thoughts about this video in the comments.